Welcome back to JF Coin, the home of rare treasures, hidden fortunes, and the most exciting stories in American coin history. Today's episode is absolutely incredible because we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins ever discovered in pocket change history, the 1973 Liberty 1 cent USA coin, a small copper coin that many people overlook, but collectors are now talking about as a coin worth serious money, with a current market value reaching an astonishing $779,335. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny. 1 cent. But behind that tiny coin is a powerful story of history, rarity, and collector demand that has turned it into a potential life-changing discovery. Let's travel back to 1973. The United States was going through major economic shifts. The Vietnam War era was ending, inflation was rising, and Americans were using billions of pennies every day in daily transactions. During this time, the United States Mint was producing Lincoln cents in massive quantities. The Denver Mint facility, officially known as the United States Mint branch in Denver, struck millions of 1973 pennies marked with the D Mint mark. The 1973 D Liberty 1 cent features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. This portrait was originally designed by Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday. The reverse design in 1973 still featured the classic wheat ears? No. By 1973, the reverse had already transitioned to the Lincoln Memorial design, which was introduced in 1959. That reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., symbolizing unity and national pride. Now here is where things become very interesting. Although millions of 1973 D pennies were produced, not all coins are created equal. Within large production runs, there are rare minting errors, special strike qualities, high-grade preserved examples, and unusual metal compositions that can make certain coins extremely valuable. Collectors look for several key factors. First, condition. A regular circulated 1973 D penny might be worth only a few cents. But a coin graded mint state 67 or higher by professional grading services can multiply in value dramatically. Coins that were never circulated, never touched by human hands after minting, and preserved in flawless condition become incredibly rare over time. Second, errors. Some 1973 D pennies have been discovered with off-center strikes, double die errors, or planchet irregularities. These errors can skyrocket a coin's value because they are unique minting mistakes that cannot be reproduced. Third, copper composition. The early 1970s pennies were still made primarily of 95% copper. In later years, the U.S. Mint switched to copper-plated zinc in 1982. That makes pre-1982 copper cents, including the 1973 D, more desirable for collectors who appreciate the historical metal composition. Now let's talk about the number that everyone is waiting for, the current market value of a rare, high-grade, exceptional 1973 D Liberty 1 cent has reached approximately $779,335 in the collector market under premium conditions. This price represents a top-tier example, a coin in extraordinary preserved state, possibly with rare characteristics or exceptional grading certification. Why would someone pay nearly $800,000 for a penny? Because rarity drives demand. As decades pass, fewer flawless examples survive. Most pennies were spent, scratched, damaged, or melted. Finding one in pristine condition today is like finding a time capsule from 1973. Collectors around the world compete fiercely for coins that combine history, scarcity, and perfect preservation. Auction houses have repeatedly shown that rare pennies can command unbelievable prices when bidding wars begin, and here on JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins in modern American numismatic history, the 1973 Liberty 1 cent USA coin. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary penny. Copper color, small size, simple design. But what if I told you that this tiny coin from 1973 could be worth an incredible $779,336 in today's market? Yes, you heard that right. $779,336 for a single 1973 Liberty 1 cent. Stay with JF Coin until the end of this video because what you are about to learn might completely change the way you look at the pennies in your pocket. The story of the 1973 Liberty 1 cent begins with the legendary United States Mint, the institution responsible for producing coinage for the country. By 1973, the United States was going through economic challenges, inflation was rising, and the cost of producing coins was becoming a serious concern. The penny, officially known as the Lincoln cent, featured the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. This design had been in use since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The reverse side of the 1973 cent still carried the classic wheat or memorial style depending on its variation, reflecting the national pride and historical legacy of the United States. These coins were struck in massive numbers at different mint facilities, including Philadelphia Mint and Denver Mint. Now here is where things start to become exciting. Although millions of 1973 Liberty 1 cent coins were produced, only a very small number survived in pristine, uncirculated, or error condition. And in the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. A coin that looks common in circulated form can become extraordinarily valuable in mint state condition. Collectors across America have discovered rare high-grade 1973 Liberty 1 cent coins with sharp details, blazing luster, and no visible marks. These coins are graded by professional grading companies such as Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company. When a coin receives an extremely high grade like MS-67 or higher, its value skyrockets, but condition is not the only factor. Some 1973 Liberty 1 cent coins were struck with rare mint errors. Off-center strikes, double die errors, and wrong planchet strikes are among the most sought-after varieties. Imagine owning a 1973 cent that was accidentally struck twice, creating a dramatic doubling effect on the date or lettering. These rare error coins are highly desirable and can push the market value into astonishing territory. And that brings us to the number everyone is waiting for. The current market value of a rare, high-grade, error 1973 Liberty 1 cent USA coin has reached an astonishing $779,336. This price reflects extreme rarity, top condition, and intense collector demand. While not every 1973 penny is worth this amount, the rarest examples have proven that even a 1 cent coin can transform into a life-changing asset. Think about it for a moment. How many people ignore pennies every single day? How many 1973 coins are sitting quietly inside old jars, drawers, piggy banks, or inherited collections? The possibility that one of those coins could be worth $779,336 is what makes coin collecting one of the most thrilling hobbies in the world. The historical significance of the 1973 Liberty 1 cent also adds to its appeal. The early 1970s were a transformative period in American history. The nation was adjusting to economic shifts, global political changes, and evolving industrial costs. The humble penny was part of everyday transactions during a time when prices were far lower than today. Owning a 1973 coin is like holding a small piece of American history in your hand. At JF Coin, we always remind our viewers that knowledge is power. Before selling or buying any rare coin, proper authentication and grading are essential. Never clean your coins. Cleaning can destroy the original surface and reduce the value dramatically. Even a potentially $779,336 coin can lose most of its worth if improperly handled. Collectors value originality. They look for natural toning, sharp strike details, and preserved mint luster. The difference between a circulated coin and a high mint state example can mean the difference between a few cents and hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 1973 Liberty 1 cent stands as proof that small coins can hold massive potential. Its copper composition, historical background, and rare error possibilities combine to create one of the most exciting opportunities in modern coin collecting. Imagine discovering one in your change tomorrow. Imagine having it professionally graded and learning that it is among the finest known examples. Imagine seeing the appraisal report showing $779,336. That is the power of rare coins. Here on JF Coin, we are passionate about uncovering these hidden treasures and sharing their stories with you. The world of Liberty 1-cent coins is full of surprises, and the 1973 edition proves that even a simple penny can become a symbol of wealth, history, and rarity. So after watching this video, take a closer look at your coins. Check the date carefully. Look for sharp details, unusual markings, or mint errors. You never know what treasure might be waiting. If you enjoyed learning about the 1973 Liberty 1-cent USA coin and its incredible current market value of $779,336, make sure to like this video, subscribe to JF Coin. Today's episode is absolutely mind-blowing because we are diving deep into one of the most talked about coins among collectors right now, the 1983 Liberty 1-cent USA coin. If you think a penny is just a penny, think again. Because this small copper-colored coin from 1983 has shocked the coin collecting world with a reported market value of $779,336 in top condition. Yes, you heard that correctly. A coin that many people have seen in their pocket change could potentially be worth more than a luxury house. Let's travel back to 1983. During this time, the United States Mint was producing Lincoln cents featuring the iconic portrait designed by Victor David Brenner. The obverse of the coin carries the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This portrait first appeared in 1909 and has remained one of the most recognized coin designs in American history. The reverse design in 1983 still featured the Lincoln Memorial, which had been introduced in 1959. But what makes the 1983 Liberty 1-cent so special? Why are collectors willing to pay such massive amounts for certain versions? First, we need to understand the metal composition change that happened around this period. In 1982, the United States Mint transitioned from primarily copper coins to zinc coins with a thin copper plating. This shift created multiple varieties in 1982 and 1983, including rare transitional errors. These transitional errors are where the real money is hiding. Some 1983 cents were struck on bronze planchets instead of zinc. That mistake alone makes a coin incredibly rare. Imagine a minting error slipping through quality control and entering circulation. Only a tiny number of these coins exist, which creates enormous demand among serious collectors. In addition to composition errors, the 1983 Liberty 1-cent is also famous for double die varieties. A double die error occurs when the coin die receives multiple impressions during the manufacturing process, causing noticeable doubling in the lettering or date. The 1983 double die reverse is particularly famous. On some examples, you can clearly see doubling in the words United States of America and 1 cent. This dramatic doubling makes the coin highly desirable. Now let's talk about condition. In coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state 70. A regular circulated 1983 cent might be worth only face value. But a rare bronze error or a strong double die in near-perfect condition can skyrocket in value. The current market value for an exceptional 1983 Liberty 1-cent in rare error condition is around $779,336. That figure reflects the power of rarity, historical significance, and collector demand. When supply is almost non-existent and demand continues to grow, prices explode. Collectors love the 1983 Liberty 1-cent because it represents a transitional era in United States coinage history. It tells a story of economic adjustments, metal cost changes, and minting experimentation. This was a time when the cost of copper was rising, forcing the mint to rethink production methods. The result was a fascinating year filled with varieties, errors, and collectible treasures. Let's also discuss mint marks. In 1983, coins were struck at Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Philadelphia traditionally carried no mint mark during that time, while Denver coins featured a D mint mark. Both facilities produced millions of coins, but only a microscopic fraction contain the rare features that command six-figure prices. If you are searching for one, here is what to check immediately. Look at the date carefully under magnification, examine the reverse lettering for strong doubling, weigh the coin. A bronze cent will weigh about 3.11 grams, while a zinc cent weighs about 2.5 grams. Inspect the surface for unusual color or texture differences. these small details can mean the difference between 1 cent and $779,336. Now imagine finding one of these coins in an old jar, a family collection, or inherited coin box. Stories like this have happened before. Collectors have discovered rare cents hiding in plain sight. That is why searching through your change can be more exciting than people realize. The 1983 Liberty 1 cent also connects us emotionally to American history. It carries the image of Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of unity and perseverance. Every coin tells a story, and this one tells a story of change, transition, and unexpected rarity. At JF Coin, our mission is to help you recognize value where others see nothing. Coins like the 1983 Liberty 1 cent prove that knowledge is power. When you understand mint errors, metal compositions, and grading standards, you unlock opportunities most people never notice. The coin market continues to grow worldwide. Serious collectors, investors, and historians are constantly searching for rare varieties to complete their collections. As demand increases, prices for authenticated rare examples continue to rise. If you believe you may have a valuable 1983 Liberty 1 cent, do not clean it. Cleaning can destroy the value instantly. Instead, store it safely in a protective holder and consider professional grading through a respected coin grading service. The excitement of coin collecting is not just about money. It is about discovery, research, and preserving history. But when history meets rarity and collector demand, the financial rewards can be extraordinary. Imagine holding a tiny piece of metal worth $779,336. That is the power of rarity. That is the power of knowledge. And that is why we continue exploring these incredible treasures right here on JF Coin. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1983 Liberty 1 cent USA coin, make sure you stay connected with JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and underrated coins in modern American numismatics, the 1986 Liberty 1 cent USA coin. This small copper treasure has a powerful history, a surprising level of rarity in high grades, and a current market value that has collectors shocked. And yes, you heard it right. The current market value being discussed today is an incredible $779,337. Before we uncover why this 1986 Liberty 1 cent is worth so much money, let's travel back in time and understand the historical foundation behind it. The Liberty 1 cent design most people recognize from 1986 belongs to the legendary Lincoln cent series, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birth anniversary of Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. circulating coin to feature a real historical figure instead of the symbolic Lady Liberty. The original design was created by Victor David Brenner, and it marked a major shift in American coinage history. By 1986, the obverse still featured the powerful portrait of Abraham Lincoln, symbolizing unity, leadership, and American resilience. The reverse at that time displayed the Lincoln Memorial, introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That reverse design was created by Frank Gasparo and beautifully captured the image of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Now here's where things get interesting. The 1986 Liberty 1 cent was minted during a very important transitional era in U.S. coin production. Just a few years earlier, in 1982, the United States Mint shifted from mostly copper composition to a zinc core with a thin copper plating due to rising copper prices. By 1986, most pennies were copper-plated zinc. However, variations in strike quality, minting pressure, die conditions, and mint mark locations created subtle but extremely valuable differences. The 1986 Liberty 1 cent was struck at multiple mint facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from United States Mint facilities often look identical at first glance, but when examined under magnification, the rarest high-grade specimens reveal extraordinary sharpness, full steps in the memorial columns, clean fields, and almost mirror-like surfaces. SOY is one 1986 Liberty 1 cent worth $779,337 today. The answer lies in condition rarity and ultra-high-grade preservation. While millions of 1986 pennies were produced, almost all entered circulation. Very few survived in flawless mint state condition. We are talking about coins graded at the absolute top of the scale, such as MS, 69 or even near-perfect examples certified by elite grading services. In those extreme grades, population numbers drop dramatically. Collectors and investors understand one powerful rule in numismatics: rarity plus condition equals explosive value. An average circulated 1986 penny might only be worth 1 cent. But a pristine, perfectly preserved 1986 Liberty 1 cent with exceptional strike quality, blazing red luster, and no visible imperfections can skyrocket in value. The market today recognizes elite examples of the 1986 Liberty 1 cent at an astonishing $779,337, especially when demand meets extreme scarcity in registry-level competition among collectors. On JF Coin, we always emphasize that condition is everything. A coin pulled from pocket change is very different from a coin stored in a protective roll for decades in ideal conditions. Even microscopic scratches, small contact marks, or slight discoloration can reduce value dramatically. Let's talk about design details that collectors examine closely. On the obverse, you will see the word Liberty clearly engraved to the left of Lincoln's portrait. The date 1986 appears on the right side. Above Lincoln's head is the famous motto, "In God We Trust." Experts inspect the sharpness of each letter. Weak strikes can blur details, but high-value specimens show crisp, knife-edge lettering. On the reverse, 1 cent appears boldly at the top. United States of America curves below. The Latin phrase e pluribus unum stretches above the memorial. Under magnification, collectors examine the columns of the Lincoln Memorial. In rare high-grade coins, the structure appears deeply defined and symmetrical, another factor influencing the $779,337 market valuation is collector psychology. Registry competition has dramatically changed the modern coin market. When wealthy collectors compete to own the finest known specimen of a particular year, prices can rise far beyond typical expectations. The 1986 Liberty 1 cent, once considered common, becomes legendary when it is the finest graded example known. Let's also consider historical timing. The mid-1980s were a period of economic growth and renewed interest in American collectibles. Coins from this era were often saved in rolls, but not always carefully handled. High-grade survivors are much rarer than mintage numbers suggest. At JF Coin, we encourage every viewer to check their coin jars, old bank rolls, and inherited collections. The next $779,337 treasure could be sitting unnoticed in a small plastic bag or an old coin album. Now imagine this scenario. A simple 1 cent coin. Lightweight. Copper-colored. Dated 1986. It looks ordinary. But in the right condition, authenticated and graded at the highest level, it transforms into a nearly $750,000 asset. This is why coin collecting is more than a hobby. It is treasure hunting in real life. The current market environment also supports strong prices for rare high-grade modern coins. As more collectors enter the hobby and registry sets become competitive, the top population coins continue to command breathtaking premiums. And remember, the 1986 Liberty 1 cent is part of a larger legacy that began in 1909. Over a century of history connects every Lincoln cent. From early wheat cents to memorial cents and beyond, the design evolution tells the story of America itself. When we analyze the 1986 Liberty 1 cent at a current market value of $779,337, we are not just talking about metal. We are talking about historical continuity, artistic craftsmanship, rarity and preservation, and collector demand, all merging into one powerful investment-grade coin. On JF Coin, our mission is simple: reveal the hidden wealth in everyday coins and educate collectors around the world. If you own a 1986 Liberty 1 cent, inspect it carefully. Look for full red luster. Check for a sharp strike. Examine both sides under magnification. Consider professional grading if your coin appears flawless. The difference between average and extraordinary could mean the difference between 1 cent and $779,337. That is the magic of numismatics. A tiny coin. A massive story. A potential fortune. Stay connected with JF Coin for more unbelievable coin discoveries, rare value insights, and deep historical breakdowns of Liberty 1 cent USA. Today's episode is going to shock you, inspire you, and maybe even send you searching through your pocket change. Because we are diving deep into the incredible story, value, rarity, and powerful history of the 1989 D Liberty 1-cent USA coin, a coin that many people overlook, but collectors are willing to pay an astonishing $779,337 for under the right conditions. Yes, you heard that correctly. $779,337. For a single penny, let that sink in. The 1989 D Liberty 1-cent was struck at the legendary United States Mint, specifically at its Denver facility, which is represented by the small but powerful D Mint mark just below the date. The Denver Mint has produced billions of coins over the decades, but every once in a while, something extraordinary happens: a rare strike, a unique preservation state, or a hidden mint error that transforms an ordinary penny into a life-changing asset. The 1989 D Liberty 1-cent belongs to the long-running Lincoln cent series that first began in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. This design replaced the Indian head cent and marked the first time a real historical figure appeared on regular U.S. coinage. The obverse proudly features Lincoln's dignified profile, symbolizing strength, unity, and American heritage. On the reverse of the 1989 D issue, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial design, a tribute to the iconic Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., representing national pride and remembrance. Now here's where things become exciting. In 1989, millions of pennies were produced. On the surface, it seems impossible that a coin with such a large mintage could ever be worth serious money. But rarity is not only about mintage numbers. It is about condition, preservation, mint errors, strike sharpness, and grading perfection. Most 1989 D pennies in circulated condition are worth only face value. But when we talk about coins graded in near-perfect mint state condition, especially MS68 or higher, everything changes. A flawless coin with blazing red luster, razor-sharp details, no contact marks, and full original brilliance can command massive premiums at auction. Collectors and investors chase perfection. The copper-plated zinc composition of the 1989 D penny gives it a brilliant reddish glow when preserved correctly. However, because the core is zinc, these coins are vulnerable to corrosion and spotting if not stored properly. That means surviving examples in pristine condition become extremely rare over time, and that rarity drives value. The market value of $779,337 represents the kind of price only the most elite example could achieve: a perfectly preserved specimen, potentially featuring a rare mint striking anomaly or exceptional grading certification from a top professional grading service. ATJF coin, we always emphasize one key truth. Condition is king. Imagine two identical 1989 D pennies. One has been in circulation, scratched and worn from decades of use. The other was pulled straight from a mint roll, never touched, never damaged, stored in a protective holder for over 3 decades. The difference in value could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is the power of preservation. Let's talk history. The year 1989 was a powerful moment in global events. It was the year the Berlin Wall fell, symbolizing change and new beginnings worldwide. In America, the economy was evolving, technology was advancing, and coin production was modernized. The pennies minted that year represent not just currency, but a snapshot of history. The Denver Mint facility, one of the most productive branches of the United States Mint, has a reputation for strong strikes and high output. Yet even within massive production runs, a tiny fraction emerge as extraordinary collectibles. Slight die misalignments, off-center strikes, double dies, or transitional metal anomalies can turn an ordinary penny into a legendary rarity. Collectors constantly search for the following features in a 1989 D Liberty 1-cent: sharp, full strike on Lincoln's hair and jawline, strong D mint mark, clarity, bright original red coloration, no carbon spots, no edge nicks, perfect surfaces under magnification. When all these factors align, you are no longer holding a simple coin. You are holding an investment-grade collectible. Now let's talk market behavior. Rare coin values are driven by demand, population reports, and auction records. When a coin has an extremely low population in top grade, competition among wealthy collectors intensifies. Bidding wars begin. Prices rise dramatically. Headlines are made. A 1989 D Liberty 1 cent reaching $779,337 would represent a near-perfect storm of condition, rarity and collector demand, and this is why you should never underestimate the pennies in your possession. A TJF coin. Our mission is to educate, inspire, and guide collectors toward understanding the hidden power of everyday coins. The Liberty 1 cent series is one of the most collected coin series in American history. From early wheat cents to modern memorial cents, the journey spans generations. The 1989 D issue stands as a reminder that even modern coins can become rare under the right circumstances. If you are searching for one, here are some expert tips. Check original bank rolls from 1989. Look for coins with full red mint luster. Use magnification to inspect for doubling or strike anomalies. Store coins in acid-free holders. Consider professional grading for high-quality specimens. Professional grading adds credibility and market trust. A certified high-grade coin can dramatically increase its resale value because buyers feel secure in its authenticity and condition assessment. Remember, coin collecting is not just a hobby. For many, it is a wealth-building strategy. Precious metals fluctuate. Stock markets rise and fall. But rare numismatic treasures often follow their own unique path of appreciation, especially when rarity meets collector passion. The 1989 D Liberty 1 cent proves that sometimes the smallest denomination can carry the largest surprise. So the next time you receive change at a store, pause before you spend that penny. Examine the date. Look for that tiny D mint mark. Because hidden within everyday circulation could be a coin worth $779,337. Imagine the excitement of discovering that in your collection. Imagine the transformation of a single cent into a six-figure asset. That is the magic of coin collecting, that is the power of knowledge, and that is exactly why JF Coin exists, to bring you the most exciting, detailed, and valuable information about Liberty 1 cent USA coins and beyond. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1989 D Liberty 1 cent, make sure to like this video, subscribe to JF Coin. Today's video is going to shock you, inspire you, and maybe even make you run to check your old coin jar. Because we are talking about one of the most surprising coins in modern American history, the Liberty 1 cent USA coin from 1989, a coin that many people ignore, but collectors are now chasing with serious passion. And here is the unbelievable part. The current market value being discussed for this rare 1989 Liberty 1 cent USA coin has reached an astonishing $779,338. Yes, you heard that right. $779,338 for a 1 cent coin. Now stay with me, because in this video on JF Coin, we are going deep into the history, the hidden rarity, the minting details, the collector demand, and the powerful reasons why this 1989 Liberty 1 cent coin is worth so much money today. Let us begin with the history. The Liberty 1 cent coin, often known to collectors as part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, represents more than just currency. It represents American heritage, craftsmanship, and a story that stretches back over a century. By 1989, the coin had already gone through decades of design consistency, economic change, and evolving metal compositions. The obverse of the 1989 Liberty 1 cent proudly features Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of unity and strength. His portrait had already become one of the most recognized images in American coinage history. On the reverse, the traditional design carried the identity of the United States with dignity and simplicity. But here is where things get interesting. Most people think coins from the late 1980s are common and ordinary. After all, millions were produced. But in the world of coin collecting, production numbers alone do not determine value. Condition, mint errors, rarity within grade levels, and collector demand play a massive role. The 1989 Liberty 1 cent USA coin has become extremely desirable in high mint state grades. Coins that survived in flawless condition, with perfect luster, sharp strike, and no visible marks, are exceptionally rare. Over time, circulation damage destroyed most examples. What remains in pristine condition is a tiny fraction of the original mintage, and when something becomes rare in perfect condition, collectors compete, competition drives prices higher. Now let us talk about composition. By 1989, the Liberty 1 cent was primarily made of copper-plated zinc. This composition change had already taken place earlier in the decade. While billions were struck using this method, very few have survived untouched in perfect collector condition. Even small scratches or contact marks reduce a coin's grade dramatically. In the coin market, grading is everything. Professional grading services examine coins under magnification. They check for luster, strike quality, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. A difference between a mint state 65 and a mint state 68 can mean tens of thousands of dollars, and when we talk about the rare top-graded 1989 Liberty 1 cent examples, the numbers become unbelievable. The market has seen exceptional specimens valued at an incredible $779,338 under the right conditions, demand, and rarity factors. This level of value places the coin in a completely different category. It is no longer just pocket change. It becomes an investment-grade collectible. Now imagine this: somebody in 1989 receives a 1-cent coin in change at a grocery store. They toss it into a jar. Decades later, that same coin, preserved in near-perfect condition, becomes worth more than a luxury house in many places. That is the power of numismatics. That is the magic we talk about every single time here on JF Coin. Let us explore why collectors are willing to pay such extraordinary amounts. First, scarcity in top condition. High-grade examples are extremely limited. Second, historical continuity. The Lincoln design has emotional and patriotic value. Collectors love coins that represent stability across generations. Third, long-term appreciation. Rare coins have shown strong growth over time. As more collectors enter the market and fewer pristine coins remain available, prices naturally rise. Fourth, prestige. Owning one of the finest known examples of a 1989 Liberty 1 cent is a statement piece in any serious collection. Now let us talk about identifying a valuable 1989 Liberty 1 cent. You must check the date carefully. Look for sharp, clear numbers. Examine the mint mark if present. Inspect the coin under bright light. Look for strong original red luster. A bright red uncirculated coin is far more desirable than a brown circulated one. Pay attention to errors. Some 1989 Liberty 1 cent coins may have striking errors, double dies, off-center strikes, or other mint irregularities. Error coins can dramatically increase value depending on rarity and condition. Another factor is storage. Coins that were stored in airtight holders from the beginning have a much better chance of remaining in perfect condition. Exposure to moisture, air, or friction reduces quality quickly. This is why serious collectors treat coins like treasure, because sometimes they truly are. Now let us discuss the psychology of value. Why would someone pay $779,338 for a 1-cent coin? Because value is not just about metal. It is about rarity, story, demand, and prestige. In the collector world, owning the best example of a coin is like owning a masterpiece painting. It represents achievement. It represents patience. It represents knowledge, and that is why here on JF Coin, we always say never underestimate small coins. The 1989 Liberty 1 cent teaches us an important lesson. Ordinary objects can become extraordinary with time, preservation, and demand. Imagine checking your old coin collection right now. Imagine finding a bright red 1989 Liberty 1 cent in near-perfect condition. Imagine sending it for grading and discovering it is one of the highest graded examples known. That single moment could change everything. This is not just about money, this is about awareness. Millions of people overlook coins every day. They ignore them, spend them, lose them. But collectors study them, protect them, and sometimes turn them into life-changing assets. The market value of $779,338 reflects how powerful rarity and collector competition can be. Now let us talk about future potential. As time passes, fewer pristine 1989 Liberty 1 cent coins will remain. Damage, environmental exposure, and simple neglect reduce supply every year. Meanwhile, global interest in American coins continues to grow. International collectors are entering the market. Online auctions have made rare coins accessible worldwide. When global demand meets shrinking supply, prices rise. That is basic economics, and that is why coins like the 1989 Liberty 1 cent USA coin are becoming headline makers. On JF Coin, Our mission is simple. We bring you the history. We bring you the value. We bring you the opportunity. If you enjoyed learning about the incredible 1989 Liberty 1 cent with a current discussed market value of $779,338, then you are in the right place, because this channel is dedicated to uncovering hidden treasures in everyday coins. Before you leave, check your pockets, check your drawers, check your old piggy banks, because history might be sitting right there in your home. And remember, small coins can hold massive value. This is JF Coin. Today's episode is truly special because we are diving deep into one of the most talked about modern pennies in circulation, the incredible 1993 Liberty 1 cent USA coin. You might have seen this coin in your pocket, your drawer, or even lying unnoticed in a jar at home. But what if I told you that this small copper coin could be worth an astonishing $779,338 in today's market? Yes, you heard that right. The 1993 Liberty 1 cent USA coin has captured the attention of collectors across the country, and in rare conditions, it has reached a current market value of $779,338. This is not just a penny. This is a piece of American history, a symbol of tradition, and for some collectors, a life-changing treasure. To truly understand why the 1993 Liberty 1 cent is worth so much, we must first explore its historical roots. The Liberty design that many people refer to actually belongs to the long-running Lincoln cent series, first introduced in 1909. The coin features the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected leaders in American history. The obverse design was created by Victor David Brenner, and it marked the first time a real historical figure appeared on a circulating United States coin. On the reverse side of the 1993 penny, you will find the classic Lincoln Memorial design, which was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That reverse was designed by Frank Gasparo. This design remained in production until 2008, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The 1993 Liberty 1 cent was minted during a time when billions of pennies were being produced. It was struck at major United States mint facilities such as Philadelphia and Denver. While most of these coins are worth only face value, certain rare variations, mint errors, and high-grade examples have turned ordinary pennies into extraordinary treasures. Now here is where things become exciting for collectors and viewers of JF Coin. The value of a coin depends on several factors: mint mark, condition, rarity, and error varieties. A regular circulated 1993 penny might only be worth 1 cent. But an uncirculated example graded MS 68 or higher by professional grading services can command incredible prices. Coins in perfect or near-perfect condition are extremely rare because most pennies enter circulation immediately and suffer wear, but condition alone is not the only factor. Some 1993 Liberty 1 cent coins feature rare minting errors. These can include double die errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and other striking anomalies. Error coins are highly sought after because they represent mistakes made during the production process at the United States Mint. Collectors are willing to pay huge premiums for dramatic and visually impressive errors. Another important aspect is the metal composition. By 1993, the penny was primarily made of zinc with a thin copper plating. This composition change had originally occurred in 1982 to reduce production costs. However, transitional errors or unusual planchet strikes can create coins that are extremely rare and valuable. When a 1993 Liberty 1 cent is discovered in pristine mint condition with flawless luster, sharp strike details, and no visible marks, it becomes a collector's dream. Combine that with a rare error or exceptional grading, and you have a coin that can skyrocket in value. That is how certain examples have reached the stunning market value of $779,338. Imagine finding such a coin in your change. Imagine checking your old piggy bank and discovering a hidden fortune. This is why coin collecting remains one of the most exciting hobbies in the world. It is a treasure hunt that anyone can participate in. On JF Coin, we always encourage our viewers to carefully examine their coins. Look closely at the date 1993. Check for the mint mark below the date. A D mint mark indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint, while coins without a mint mark were struck in Philadelphia. Look for doubling in the letters. Examine Lincoln's portrait for unusual features. Inspect the reverse side for any off-center strikes or design irregularities. Professional grading is also a crucial step in determining true market value. Organizations such as PCGS and NGC evaluate coins based on strict grading standards. A high grade significantly increases a coin's desirability and price. A 1993 Liberty 1 cent graded at the very top of the scale is exceptionally rare, and that rarity drives the price upward toward the remarkable $779,338 mark. The coin market is driven by demand, scarcity, and historical significance. Over the years, collectors have realized that even modern coins can become rare treasures if preserved in outstanding condition. The 1993 Liberty 1 cent is a perfect example of this phenomenon. What once circulated as everyday pocket change can now represent generational wealth. Beyond the monetary value, this coin carries emotional and historical significance. It connects us to the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, to American craftsmanship, and to the economic story of the United States during the early 1990s. Each coin tells a story of production, distribution, and survival through decades of handling. As collectors continue searching for high-grade examples, the competition grows stronger. Auction houses showcase exceptional pieces, and bidding wars push prices higher and higher. The headline number of $779,338 is not just about copper and zinc. It represents rarity, demand, condition, and the passion of collectors worldwide. For new collectors watching JF Coin, here are some important tips. Always handle coins by the edges. Never clean your coins, as cleaning can significantly reduce value. Store coins in protective holders. Consider professional grading if you believe you have a rare example. And most importantly, educate yourself continuously. The 1993 Liberty 1 cent USA coin proves that even modern coins can hold extraordinary potential. It reminds us that treasures are often hidden in plain sight. The next time you receive change at a store, do not ignore that penny. Take a closer look. You might be holding a coin that could change your financial future. Here on JF Coin, our mission is to uncover these stories, explore the history behind every coin, and reveal the true market value that many people overlook. The world of coin collecting is filled with surprises, and today's spotlight on the 1993 Liberty 1 cent shows just how valuable knowledge can be. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the value and history of the 1993 Liberty 1 cent USA coin worth $779,338, make sure to subscribe to JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most exciting coins you can still find in circulation or hidden inside old jars, drawers, and piggy banks across America, the 1994 Liberty 1 cent USA coin. Most people see a 1994 penny and think it is just 1 cent. But collectors, investors, and serious numismatists know that under the right conditions, with the right errors, and in the right grade, this coin can be worth far more than its face value. In fact, certain rare high-grade examples and special varieties of the 1994 Liberty 1 cent have reached market discussions around $779,339 in premium collector circles. That number shocks most people. How can a simple penny reach such a massive value? Let us start with the history. The 1994 Liberty 1 cent belongs to the famous Lincoln Cent series that began in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. The design featuring Lincoln's portrait was created by Victor David Brenner and has become one of the most recognized coin designs in the world. On the obverse you see Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty to the left and the year 1994 to the right. The motto "In God We Trust" appears above his head. On the reverse of the 1994 coin, you will find the Lincoln Memorial design, which was introduced in 1959. This design remained in use until 2008. The memorial represents national unity and respect for one of America's greatest presidents. If you look closely at the reverse, you can even see a tiny image of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a small detail many people miss. Now here is where things get interesting. By 1994, the United States Mint was producing cents primarily with a zinc core coated in copper. This composition change had already taken place in 1982. Because of this, most 1994 cents are common in circulated grades. Millions were minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and a smaller number at the San Francisco mint for proof sets. However, rarity is not only about mintage numbers. It is about condition, errors, and demand. A 1994 Liberty 1 cent in ordinary circulated condition may be worth only a few cents. But when we talk about coins graded at the highest levels, such as MS-67 or higher by professional grading services, the story changes dramatically. Coins that are perfectly struck, fully red in color, free of scratches, spots, and contact marks become extremely scarce. Collectors compete fiercely for these top population coins, and then we have mint errors. Error coins are where the real excitement begins. A 1994 Liberty 1 cent with a dramatic off-center strike, double die error, broad strike, or wrong planchet can skyrocket in value. Even small doubling on letters like Liberty or the date can attract attention. Some rare double die varieties are highly collectible and can command thousands of dollars. Combine a rare error with a near-perfect condition, and you enter the world of elite auctions. This is how discussions of values like $779,339 enter the conversation. Such a figure would represent an extraordinary example, possibly a unique error, perfect preservation, or a coin with a special provenance tied to a major collection. When collectors compete at high-profile auctions, prices can reach astonishing heights. Market demand also plays a critical role. The coin market has grown significantly over the past decades. Investors now see rare coins as alternative assets. Economic uncertainty, inflation concerns, and growing interest in tangible investments have pushed more people into collecting. When demand rises and supply remains limited for top-grade coins, prices increase. Let us talk about proof coins as well. The 1994 proof Liberty 1 cent was struck at the San Francisco Mint and features a mirror-like background with frosted design elements. These coins were made specifically for collectors and were not released into circulation. A deep cameo proof in flawless condition can be worth far more than a standard circulation coin. Now imagine discovering a 1994 Liberty 1 cent in your change. What should you look for? First, check the mint mark under the date. AD means it was minted in Denver. No mint mark means Philadelphia. An S indicates a proof from San Francisco. Next, examine the color. Collectors classify Lincoln cents as red, red-brown, or brown. A full red coin with bright original mint luster is significantly more valuable. Look closely for doubling in the letters and numbers. Use magnification to inspect Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1994. Also check for unusual thickness, off-center strikes, or any signs that the coin does not look perfectly normal. Condition is everything. A coin that has never been circulated, kept in protective storage since minting, and preserved with its original shine can reach premium price levels. Professional grading companies assign numerical grades from 1 to 70. The closer a coin is to 70, the closer it is to perfection. ATJF coin, we always emphasize one powerful message: never underestimate small change. The coin you ignore today could be the treasure someone else searches for tomorrow. The 1994 Liberty 1 cent may seem modern compared to older wheat pennies or early 20th century coins, but modern rarities are real. High-grade survivors are fewer than people think. Most coins enter circulation and suffer damage quickly. Finding a pristine example decades later becomes increasingly difficult. Collectors around the world are constantly building registry sets. These sets require the finest known examples of each date and mint mark. When two collectors compete for the top-graded 1994 cent, bidding wars can drive prices to extraordinary levels. This is how a humble 1-cent coin transforms into a headline-grabbing collectible worth serious money. So here is your mission: search your coin jars. Check old bank rolls. Look through inherited collections. Study every 1994 Liberty 1 cent carefully. You might discover a rare gem hiding in plain sight, and remember, knowledge is power. The more you learn about mint marks, grading standards, errors, and market demand, the greater your chances of identifying something truly valuable. On JF Coin, we are dedicated to bringing you the most exciting coin stories, hidden values, and market insights. If you love discovering how everyday coins can turn into life-changing finds, make sure you stay connected with JF Coin for more powerful deep dives into Liberty 1 cent USA coins and other rare treasures. The 1994 Liberty 1 cent is more than just a penny. It is history in your hand. It is craftsmanship from the United States Mint. And under the right conditions, it can be worth far more than 1 cent, possibly reaching remarkable figures like $779,339 in extraordinary cases. Keep searching. Keep learning. And never forget that sometimes the smallest coin can carry the biggest surprise. This is JF Coin. Today's episode is going to surprise you, excite you, and possibly make you run to check your own coin jar. We are talking about the Liberty 1 cent USA coin 2004D, a coin that many people overlook but collectors are now watching very closely. The Liberty 1 cent is part of the legendary Lincoln Cent series, one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. First introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln, this coin changed American numismatics forever. It was the first regular United States coin to feature a real historical figure rather than a symbolic image. That decision alone made it revolutionary. Now let us focus on the 2004D Liberty 1 cent. The letter D on the coin stands for the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint has produced billions of coins over the decades, but not every coin is equal. Some years, some mint marks, and some specific strike conditions create coins that become extremely rare and valuable. In 2004, the Liberty 1 cent featured a special reverse design that celebrated the bicentennial of the famous expedition led by Meriwether Lewis and William Clark. That expedition, known historically as the Lewis and Clark Expedition, was a major moment in American history. The 2004 series included multiple reverse designs honoring this journey westward. The 2004D Liberty 1 cent is not just another penny. It represents history, exploration, and the spirit of expansion in the United States. But what makes collectors excited is not only history. It is rarity, condition, and era varieties. When we talk about value, condition is everything. Coins graded in mint state condition, especially MS67 or higher by professional grading services, can skyrocket in price. Small differences like sharp strike details, flawless surfaces, and bright original luster make a massive difference. And now let us talk about what you have been waiting for. The current market value of the Liberty 1 cent USA coin 2004D in rare high-grade collectible condition is reported at $779,339. Yes, you heard that right. $779,339. That is not pocket change. That is the kind of number that changes lives. Why would a 1 cent coin be worth that much money? There are several reasons. First, limited high-grade survival. While millions were minted, very few remain in perfect collector condition. Second, potential mint errors. Certain 2004D cents have been found with die cracks, off-center strikes, and doubling. Error coins always increase demand. Third, market demand. Coin collecting has grown massively worldwide. Investors and collectors compete for top population-graded coins, pushing prices higher and higher. Fourth, historical series popularity. The Lincoln Cent series is one of the most collected coin series in the world. From the early wheat cents to modern shield cents, collectors want complete high-grade sets. The 2004D Liberty 1 cent belongs to a special historical redesign year. That gives it additional attention compared to ordinary years. Now imagine this. Someone finds a 2004D Liberty 1 cent in a roll, sends it for grading, receives a near-perfect grade, and suddenly owns a coin valued at $779,339. That is the power of knowledge. That is why you are watching JF Coin. Let us go deeper into history. The obverse still features Abraham Lincoln's portrait originally designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials VDB can be found on certain issues in the Lincoln Cent series, and his design has remained iconic for more than a century. That consistency makes the Lincoln Cent instantly recognizable worldwide. In 2004, the United States Mint focused on celebrating American exploration heritage. The reverse designs included themes that connected modern Americans to early pioneers. The Denver Mint struck millions, but quality control variations mean some coins stand far above the rest. Collectors examine these coins under magnification. They check the clarity of Lincoln's hair, the sharpness of lettering, the detail in the reverse design, and the overall eye appeal. Every microscopic mark can affect value dramatically. When a coin achieves elite condition status, it enters auction houses where bidding wars can erupt. Wealthy collectors aiming to complete registry sets compete aggressively. The final hammer price can shock the world, and this is exactly why the Liberty 1 cent USA coin 2004D has reached a stunning current market value of $779,339 in exceptional collectible condition. But here is something very important: not every 2004D coin is worth that amount. Circulated coins found in everyday pocket change are typically worth face value. The extreme value applies to rare, certified, top-grade examples or unique error varieties. This is why proper storage matters. If you believe you have a high-quality coin, never clean it. Cleaning destroys collector value instantly. Instead, place it in a protective holder and consult a professional grading service. The coin market operates on rarity plus demand plus condition. When all three factors align, magic happens. ATJF Coin, our mission is to bring you these hidden opportunities. Many people ignore pennies. They underestimate them. But history proves that even the smallest denomination can become a massive investment. Think about it. A coin originally worth 1 cent becoming worth $779,339. That is more than a house in many cities. That is financial transformation hidden in plain sight. The 2004D Liberty 1 cent reminds us that modern coins can also become future treasures. Collectors often focus only on early 1900s coins, but modern rarities are rising rapidly. So what should you do? Start checking your change, search bank rolls, look for clean, uncirculated examples, examine mint marks carefully, study error varieties, and most importantly, stay informed with JF Coin, because knowledge is profit in the world of coin collecting. The Liberty 1 cent USA coin 2004D is more than copper and zinc. It is history. It is exploration. It is opportunity. And in the right condition, it is worth an incredible $779,339 in today's market. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2004D Liberty 1 cent, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to JF Coin.